everyone, this is Amy. Welcome to my channel. This morning I'm going to be doing a very easy design, and I say that all the time, I know. I am going to be using two Amagic flat brushes, and one is the number 2. Actually, they both look like number 2, so let's say 2 number 2s, and a fine liner by Westonia. All my paints, once again, are FolkArt paints. I use Wicker White, Teddy Bear Brown, Happy Green, Thicket, Pale Yellow, Apple Red, and Burnt Umber. And they are a mixture of multi-surface and enamels. Alright, the first thing I'm going to do is start out by sticking my fine liner into the browns. I can even stick it into a little bit of white if I want. Make it show up a little bit better even with some white in it. And I'm going to just make a real easy kind of a heart shape. Doesn't have to be perfect. This is actually going to be like a wreath, if you're wondering. So it's just a real simple, like a grapevine wreath. Again, I'm going to put some light into it just so that it shows up, and it kind of gives it a little bit more interest by giving it some light and letting it show up a little bit better. Hopefully you can see it. It's the only problem with when you use the darker colors on this green gloss bottle, it can be a little hard to see at times, so I do apologize. But I'm just going to keep going back and forth, just waving through here, just like a grapevine wreath would consist of, just a lot of different branches intertwined. And I just go back and forth between the colors. I mean, you don't have to spend a ton of time on this because I am going to be painting flowers kind of over these, but just so you know that this is what it's going to end up being. Again, you can just keep going over this as much as you want or as little as you want to make the basic shape, and you can make a circle if you want. I just decided to do the heart shape. Very simple so far, right? If you're new to my channel, make sure that you subscribe and hit that notification bell before leaving. I would greatly appreciate that. If you have any questions or comments, please place those down below. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is take one of the brushes. Again, I think they look very much similar in size, so I'm going to say they're both number 2s. And I'm going to dip one side into the apple red, one side into my wicker white, and do my little blending strokes. Oh, you know what? I'll take that back. Before I do that, I am going to go with my liner into my red first. I'm sorry. Forgot I probably should do this first. And then I'm going to come in here and just kind of make a ribbon looking bow, just really thin. And come out this way with some ribbon. I'm going to layer it a little bit so it has, like, it's got several of these instead of just one hoop. And then have it come down, several little lines. Just have it come down. Just kind of fun and frilly. Not anything too dramatic, or it's just very simple. Just kind of make a ribbon shape in here. And then I'm going to go back over these a little bit more because I want them to have a little bit more on them to make them more durable. Because if you don't know already, the thicker you put on your paint, the more durable your design's going to be. Okay, so we just did that. Now you could just leave it with a couple little pieces coming down. That's up to you. But since my design is not as big as what I put on my paper, I've got to limit the size here. All right, so we're going to come up here, and I'm going to start with just a wiggle leaf. I'm just going to keep layering it and turning as I go. Again, I'm putting it down and I'm wiggling. And I can come back over here. I mean, a little bit of it came up, so I'm going to go back over it just really easily. Because what's happening is the paint, it's picking up paint from underneath. I don't know why it's doing that, but it's doing that. And we'll just keep working with it. I'm going to go down this side a little bit easier. And then I'll come down here. Just got to be careful again because it's raising up for some reason. And that's one thing with painting on glass you got to watch out for. Sometimes your design will do that. So just be careful. Almost looks like I put some crackling medium on here, which I did not. I did not do that. Alright, so I'm going to come over here and just do my basic wiggles again. I'm going to come down here and come back up. I'm going to turn it, come back down here, and come back up. And again, you can make your design round as opposed to a heart shape. That's up to you. Up. And we'll do it here. And if you feel like you're not getting good coverage, just go back over it, let it dry, or just go back over it, tap onto it a little bit so that it actually gets a thicker coat of paint. Alright, so then I'm going to come down here. If you, also when you're painting, if you feel like you're getting too much paint on your brush, then go ahead and rinse, or not rinse it off, but just wipe it off. I wouldn't rinse it off if you can avoid that, just because water can actually cause your design to not be as stable because the water interferes with the formula. And I'm just going to keep going. I'm just doing slight wiggles with the size of brush and with the paint lifting, just doing really slight wiggles. And sometimes you have to adjust your design based on how the paint's reacting to the surface. That's not uncommon. Sometimes you can do this and it's perfectly fine, and other times you can do it and it's not reacting the way you wanted it to, which today's one of those days. But that's okay. You'll get the gist of this. That's the main thing. Giving you the gist of the design. I'm gonna have to come back a little bit here. Just touching it very lightly. We'll keep turning it. Keep turning it. And I don't care how many petals you put in. If you're, 5, 6, 7, whatever fits into your design. Don't be too hung up on that. And we'll do one more. Do one more Uno Mas. I'm trying to keep them small, if you wonder. I'm so good at making things really big. So that's what I chose, the smaller paintbrushes for this design, and I'm thinking, yeah, that's how it's going to happen. But all right, so there I have my designs. I am going to put my paintbrush, a little liner, into the burnt umber, and I can put it into some of this if I want, but I'm mainly focused on the burnt umber. I'm going to come through here and just kind of put in the centers where I think they would be, depending on how the flower's leaning, that kind of thing. Just very light little strokes, pulling from the center. Like this one makes me feel like it's going in that direction. And they don't all have to go the same direction. I also do like to put a little piece under there like that. Kind of put it together. Don't want it too thick though. That's what you gotta be careful. I'm gonna put a little line here, but I'm gonna do these just a little bit more. And because I'm doing wet on wet, I can pull up some of the paint from underneath, which is fine. It's not a big deal. I'm sorry, I'm trying to do this where you can see it. I'm a lefty, if you haven't noticed. If something feels awkward to you, the direction that I'm doing a design, and I start a leaf from one side, like say I go from right to left, you might need to go the opposite direction, left to right, when you're creating yours to get it to feel natural movement for you. Just so you know. And I know it's hard a lot of times when you're, trying to teach someone. I know sometimes things that I've been, people have tried to teach me, it's like I can't get the hang of it, like crocheting. It's I'm left-handed, so I can't do it the same way that you do it if you're right-handed. That makes sense. Alright, so I'm just going to kind of wipe this off a little bit. I'm going to come into my pale yellow, stick my brush in there, get it nice and coated, and I'm just going to come here and just kind of pounce. And I just want them just loosely all over, where the little parts are that we just painted. And they don't have to be dots, or you can do a dotting stylus. I mean, they can be a dot if you want them. You don't have to do it with the brush. But I like to try to minimize my tools used. Don't have to go out and buy a bunch of, brushes and paint and that kind of thing, as much as I can minimize it. Alright, next thing I'm going to do is take my other brush. And this is why I said, the way you add flowers and leaves to it, it doesn't matter the shape really. You could just make it a circle if you wanted. But I'm going to load my brush with the greens. I can even tap in a little bit of the white, maybe vary that a little bit. See how it goes. Then I'm going to come out from these and do just a design where I am kind of like scalloping, really, kind of like that, and then I turn it. And I'm going And I'm going to turn it and do it the opposite direction. And I'll come up here and do the same thing. I mean, I want to make sure that I'll leave a little bit of the wreath showing. So I don't want to overdo it, which I'm good at. And it's fun. Just scoop, scoop, and scoop. Okay. And I could even come down here with some. I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to fill it up too much, but I want to have enough that where you can see the leaves. I like to turn my bottle as much as I can. Okay, maybe come out here a little bit. Like that. And again, if you have any questions or comments, please place those down below the video. I'm just trying to make this very simple, simplistic as much as possible. And you don't have to have 2 leaves with each one if you don't want. You can just do it with 1 leaf. And I'm going to do one up here. Sometimes I get my brush going the wrong way. Do my little swoops, and you can also turn it like this so that you have the lighter on the bottom. That's kind of a pretty look. I'm going to do it again. Swoop, 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 turn. Alright, let's finish this up with the leaves. I'll add a few more other kind of leaves, but let's finish this up here. And if you don't want to do this style of leaf, you know, feel free to do something else. You don't have to, obviously. Okay, let's see here. Do I want to put any more in here? I might want to go down. And I can get a little crazy with the leaves, but I might go crazy with them. But if you don't like that many leaves, then don't do what I'm doing. Okay, it's how else to tell you. Then don't do what I'm doing, because I like a lot of leaves. Alright, so then I'm going to go back in, and you'll see here in a minute, I'm going to go back in and just put some more of my just regular 1-stroke leaves in. Again, I'm not trying to cover up all of the wreath, but it's a little dark. And the ribbon's being covered up some. And if you want to go back over that, you can. You can bring it forward a little bit. I'm not going to go too crazy with these. Just put a little in there just to have some fun with them. Yeah, I'm gonna stop. Like I said, I can get really really crazy with them. All right, so I'm going to come back with my little liner brush and start putting my little stems into these, including those that I didn't do while I was painting them. I was saving them for now. Just kind of, you can make them light, dark, doesn't matter. Whatever makes you happy. And if you want to just, you know, hook these to the stems when you're painting and using your flat brush, you can do that as well. You don't have to wait and add a stem to it with the liner brush if you don't want. And I apologize, some of this is hard for me to see with the glare. So that being said, I'm doing the best I can. All right, now again, like I said, if you wanted to come back in with your little ribbon and kind of just put it over the top, you can do that as well. Just kind of pretend where it would be. You know, that's up to you. Because you know, with the ribbon, it's going to be flowing all over the place. So, yeah, and the other thing I did, and I forgot to mention this, I am using a clay ball maker. And I want to add just a little bit more. I'm taking the smaller size, and I just want to add just some little interest with these different sizes and amounts. It doesn't have to be all the same. I like them to be a little bit more rounded looking though. And if you're someone who doesn't like this look, just leave it out. Again, use your creative mind to make the design yours. Feel free to do something different with it. Use it as an inspiration and go on. All right. You could also use gold on this if you wanted, but I think it's pretty. You know, again, the shape of the wreath doesn't really matter too much. You can see, you know, I've pretty much filled it in, but it looks pretty. All right, I hope you like this video. If you do, make sure you give me a big thumbs up. New to my channel, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and prior to leaving, if you would take a moment to share this video on your social network, I would greatly appreciate it. Just hit that share button you'll find underneath the video and you will be good to go. Alright, until the next time, please stay safe and healthy, and you have a good one.